morning, friends. Welcome to my humble homestead and garden side chat. Today I am going to have another kitchen day. These are the zucchini relish that we canned up yesterday. I'm just going to wipe them down. Looks like they all sealed up nice with my 4-jar lids that I tried for the first time, so that's wonderful. And then I made this zucchini bread in my bread machine, and it turned out delicious. I had a piece for breakfast. So this was made with regular sugar and flour. What I think I'm going to do is because it turned out so good and I have so much zucchini, I use the yellow squash for it. I'm going to try, and I have my bread machine out, I'm going to try to make one that is more low carb-ish, keto friendly. I'm going to try to use some coconut and almond flour in here and see how that turns out. I've never tried that in the bread machine, but I thought, you know what? I have so much squash and I have an excess amount of that kind of flour. I just want to see how it works. So I'm going to try that out today with some of the squash. I'm going to pick up my dairy here in just a couple minutes. And then we're going to use up the rest of that. I have some leftover roast beef in my fridge. I'm going to flash freeze that. And then I'm going to dehydrate it. And then that will be great for preserving. It'll be kind of like a beef jerky or dried beef. So I'm going to do that. And those are the things that we're going to work on today. Finishing up the summer squash. I also have some watermelon rind from a watermelon I cut up. So I'd like to look up and see how to pickle that. I've never done that before either. So those are the things I'm hoping to get to. All right, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, welcome back, friends. So I just got back from picking up my dairy. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to skim off the cream off of 2 gallons of my dairy. I have 2 more that I put in my garage fridge that I will get to a little bit later. But this, oh my goodness, I just love how thick this cream is. But these 2 I'm going to skim off right now so I can use these for some recipes. And then I'm going to start this low carb. I'm going to try to make a low carb loaf of bread using some almond and coconut flour in the bread machine and see how that turns out. I've never used coconut and almond flour in the bread machine. I'm not sure if anybody else has, so let me know how that works for you, but we'll see. The regular loaf turned out great. I do try to not eat a lot of carbs, so it's delicious. I had a piece this morning, but I will just slice it up and put it in the freezer for if I really want a treat. And I kind of do that with even low carb bread, but I want to try the low carb one too. And that way I'll just mark them. I would prefer if the low carb worked out. That would be great. Plus my kids like to do keto. So if that worked out, that would be something that's great to know as well. Now that I'm starting to get some berries out of the garden, having cream for that, some other recipes, making butter. I haven't been going through as much butter as most because it is just me, but I like using the cream and other things. That is what I'm going to get going here. I'm going to finish skimming off this cream, and then and I'm going to start a pot of yogurt. Yes, so once I get this one done here, I'm going to go ahead and get a pot of yogurt going because that is a must. So let's see here. I think I'm going to get my Instapot going right now with that yogurt because ice is melting off of here. That is the easiest and quickest thing to get going here. No, it's not, because I have the roast in there and I have to pull that out, flash freeze that, and do that. So I will do my yogurt in just a little bit. It's my first jar of cream. This roast beef needs to flash freeze so I can dehydrate it. I'm going to take it out and cut it up here down a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So this beef here, I'm literally just going to slice it up into little pieces. It's pretty tender. I'm just doing that so that way when I dehydrate it, it's all in small pieces, and then it'll be more like a jerky. Then I'm just going to dehydrate this and I will stick it in a jar and have it for just if I want, a snack, I'm running out or something. I'm going to see how this works. I saw Heidi on Rain Country did this, and so I wanted to try it out. and see how it worked. I don't eat a whole roast myself. Thought this was a good way to handle the leftovers. And then I would have some all for the winter. I just needed a quick something. All right, so this I'm just gonna cover and throw in the freezer for about an hour or two. And then I'm gonna throw it on the dehydrator. So we will see how that goes. Then I am going to wash off my Instapot pot so I can get the yogurt going. Then I saved another piece of roast in there that I am actually just going to freeze with some celery that I put in the stock. And I am going to freeze it for just a frozen freezer meal if I want a big piece of roast beef or another easy quick meal. That is going in the freezer. One less meal I have to cook. Now I have all this beef stock left. I actually put it in here because this I can use if I want to make some soup or some rice. So this will be some beef stock that I will just save. So beef stock. All right, and this I'll put in my freezer as well. Okay, so let's get our yogurt going here. Pour my gallon of milk into my Instapot and set it on yogurt setting to boil. So happy to have some yogurt going. Now let's get this bread going in the bread machine. First I'm gonna spray this with some avocado spray. Then we are gonna do 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. I am going to use my olive oil. Here we go. And then we're gonna use 3/4 cup of shredded zucchini. All right, so I took this out and we're gonna use 3/4 cup of this. I'm gonna use the yellow again because that worked out so good last time. 3/4 cup in there. And then 2 large eggs at room temperature. I did leave them out today. I didn't have to put them over some warm water. 1/3 cup light brown sugar, firmly packed. Okay, so I'm gonna use brown swerve and I'm gonna use the coconut palm sugar. I don't use this very often. So this is monk sweetener. I am going to use just 3 tablespoons. So I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons of this. Of the monk sweetener, just trying to keep the carbs down. We're gonna see how this one turns out. 3. I know some people can grow their own stevia and that's awesome. Thinking about maybe looking into that for next year. 1/4 teaspoon of ground allspice. 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Put that in there. 1.5 cups unbleached flour. So I'm gonna divide this into coconut flour and almond flour. I have oat flour, I have cassava flour, but I think I'm gonna do half of the almond and half of the coconut flour because I think most people that do keto, that's what they use. So let's do 3/4 of the coconut and then we'll do 3/4 of the almond. So we'll literally go right down the middle with those. Let's see how those work. Dump every little, there we go. Keep a little. 3/4 teaspoon salt in there. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Set up in my hands so we don't get any lumps. Don't get any lumps in that. And walnuts and raisins, which I do not have this time. Now, mind you, I did stop partway and mix in around the top, which I'm going to do again. And I did do this on cake. So I'm going to try to figure out how to do that again. Menu. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is cake. And then 9, 10. There we go. All right, let's see how this works out. Okay, so I'm going to put all this away, get cleaned up, and move on to the next. See you soon. Hi friends. So I don't know if any of you watched my video the other day when I was cleaning out my freezer and doing all those things and making pickled eggs. And I was talking about how I have every intention of doing all of these things and I have this list and I want to do all of them. And then my body starts telling me, oh, Trina, you need to listen to your body and realize that you can't do everything your mind wants to do. So I was gonna make some savory recipes and all this stuff with all this squash that I actually got prepped yesterday, which is good. I did a bunch of stuff yesterday and I am exhausted. I am, and I have to work tomorrow. Oh, shoot, and I'm not doing what I was meant to do. See, look at it, I'm not even thinking right. So what I'm going to do is get this wiped out real quick. I actually had a really rough week last week with migraines and not feeling good, so I'm still kind of in the ditzy mode of headache stuff. So what I'm really trying to do is put 1 cup in each of these little bags and then put them in there to save and freeze so that when I want to make something, I'll just have 1 cup serving. So if it needs 1 or 2 cups, I will have them ready. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to fret over it. I've got yogurt going. I've got a loaf of low-carb bread going. I made a bunch of stuff yesterday. I am not going to fret. I am just gonna go ahead and get these frozen and realize that every bit counts. Every little bit counts, like Jessica says. Some people can do more than others, and that is okay. And it is just me. I'm gonna freeze up this zucchini bread that's here, and I am just gonna get this processed and in the freezer. So I'll have a bunch of yellow squash and zucchini frozen. I'll try this keto bread tomorrow for breakfast. I'll have some yogurt done. And I didn't have any yogurt, so I was like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna use for my yogurt starter? So, hallelujah, I had some whey in the freezer, so I took out some whey out of the freezer. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna freeze in ice cubes, like I mentioned to everybody, little bits of whey in case I don't have any yogurt made here, because I used whey last time and it worked amazing. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Be blessed. Have a great day. And every bit counts. I know I'm so thankful for all of the meals. Oh, and I'm going to get that beef in the dehydrator too. So I am getting some things done, and it will be nice to have all of these things to not have to cook. I have meals that I made that are in the freezer, so I know on days like this when I don't feel like cooking, I do have the leftovers from yesterday I can have. So every bit really does count. Thanks, you guys. Be blessed. Have a great day. Bye.